Hey everybody, I'm here today with Thomas from Nuvo Water Systems. Wanted to talk a little bit about a standard feature we offer in all of our homes. It's the Nuvo Manor Duo. I call this a water softener, and we'll go over the details of the softening unit a little bit later. But first, the way I met them is one of my mentors that I follow a lot is Matt Reisinger with The Build Show.
The Build Show!
And he spoke really highly about this water softening unit. And so I decided to give Nuvo a call and kind of see exactly what they were all about. What really makes their system different from your conventional water softening units. And we'll take it from there. But first I wanted Thomas to introduce himself, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you came from. I hear you're an Aggie alum, so yes, I'm sure people would like to see
alum.
that.
Yep, so live in Phoenix, Arizona now, went to New Mexico State, played baseball there back in 2010. Love the Las Cruces area, so when Mike gave me a call and said he's interested in our systems, we were very excited to work with you guys. Since we do come out here, we do a lot of work out here, so we were very excited to come back out and work with such a quality builder.
Absolutely, it's always good to do work with people that actually are familiar with our city. Most people just know Las Cruces as, oh, once I drove through that city, so it's kind of cool
seeing
those
nice mountains all the way through.
Exactly. One of the other neat things is he also played baseball with NMSU, but it's pretty cool that he actually played baseball with the D-backs as well in Arizona. So
a little bit.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, so, love it.
So one of the reasons why I really chose the Nuvo water system to offer all our homeowners in our homes as a standard, so all of our homes come with the Nuvo Manor Duo installed in your home. I've never been a fan of water softening units in the past. It's always been, and the biggest thing that I didn't like is I didn't like that soapy feeling that we get. And that's one thing that I always shied away from, but really a water softening unit really protects your plumbing fixtures and your home. It protects your investments. So that was one of the big reasons why I decided to really look into this. I was intrigued by the Nuvo Manor Duo. It doesn't use salts or potassium that most softening units use. It utilizes citric acid. And what's a good benefit is also this big carbon block here. It filters your water. So not only are you getting conditioned water, but you're also getting filtered water that's going to take out all the gunk and grime that the city puts in to treat their water, which is really neat. So that's a big difference, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start talking to them about their units to be installed in our home. And after I really started looking into your system, I saw far many more benefits. And it's kind of crazy how convenient this unit is to be installed in a home. One thing I wanted you to talk about is what's some of the differences between citric conditioning versus your typical salts and potassium?
Yeah, so the traditional method of softening water is salts, where you're going to remove the calcium and the magnesium, replace it with sodium, right? So now those hard minerals are removed and they no longer are in the water, so they're not going to build scale, they're not going to clog up your pipes. But that's about it, right? So Nuvo has multiple benefits, not just only, scale protection, but also whole home filtration. So you're showering in filtered water. You technically can have a drink. It's safe too, but the main benefit for me is I like to know that I'm showering in a filtered water. It's filtered through, whether you're on a well or city, you really kind of don't know what's in your water. So it's nice to have that reassurance that your water's being filtered. But to go back to your question about the citrus part of Nuvo H2O, we're on a cartridge-based system filled with what's called citricharge. So what the citricharge does is it's going to bond to the calcium and the magnesium that's in the water. Calcium carbonate is going to turn into calcium citrate. That process is called chelation. When that process occurs, now that molecule now doesn't stick to anything. But you keep the good healthy mineral in the water, but now it's not going to stick. At the same time, a high alkaline, high hardness water is going to have a higher alkaline. Now we're going to balance that pH to neutral by adding that citrus into the water, that acidity. At a microdose level, we're not going to turn it into lemonade. But at a microdose level, it's going to balance the pH. Now when you remove the pH factor and you balance it, scale is not going to form.
So that's one of the things that as a builder, I commonly refer to this as a water softener. There's water softeners and water conditioners. I like to kind of think of it as a hybrid between the two different systems. So I think you're really getting the best of both worlds with the Manor Duo. One of the other things that I really like about this system is basically it's a completely passive system. So there's no mechanical components. You don't have a big brine tank in your garage plugged into the wall. It's not wasting electricity. It's all a passive system that basically pushes your water pressure from the city, basically pushes the water through this system, which then conditions and filters it. One of the things that I actually really found a benefit in is I've never, for myself, been one for subscriptions and stuff like that. But you know what? With these cartridges, and this probably differs from the point of use of how many people are living in the house.
Yeah, definitely.
But kind of a rule of thumb, what I do is I replace the filters every 6 months, so twice a year. So with their auto ship program, basically you just sign on, and for our clients, we have a special rate that when you build with us, you get a discount code, and that's always benefit to help. And I was actually surprised by the cost. I was thinking that the costs were going to be quite a bit more swapping out these filters, but it's really compared to your salts and potassiums and everything. It's very economical.
We really like to keep it, relatively affordable, right? We don't, traditional salt softening units, right? One, you have to lift up a heavy bag of salt, right? 40-pound bag of salt.
My wife doesn't like going to the store
multiple times a month, right? And you're going to the store. Yes, they have subscription based where they come to your house and drop it off. It's very convenient. But one of our biggest features too as well is that auto ship program, where you can sign up through Nuvo H2O, use the code Arista15 when you purchase your Nuvo system through Arista. They now, when you use that code, you can get 15% off of your auto shipped, right? And it can come every 6 months or 50,000 gallons. We like to say 6 months because that's the median of usually when 50,000 gallons is hit for a moderately sized family.
You know what I really liked about that auto ship program was obviously busy lifestyle, we're tied up with families, doing a bunch of different activities here and there. With auto ship program, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. When these units show up from UPS at the front door, it's like, oh, I got to replace these. You got to replace these filters. So that really kind of helps make sure that you're having quality water for your family to drink and use throughout the house.
And the ease of maintenance too, right? You're not having to think, oh crap, I forgot to put in my salt this month because you're busy, whatever, and now scale is now forming.
Exactly.
And now that scale is there, right? So something that is very unique about Nuvo H2O as well, it's a, oh wait, there's more moment, right? Is not only do we prevent scale from building up, we remove existing scale too. So if you do somehow use more water and you fall behind, and you start noticing scale build up, like, oh shoot, maybe we do need to be at, 5.5 months, who knows, right? But now we remove that existing scale, so it's rest assured you're not gonna have scale build up in the house. So the biggest benefit that I really wanna portray across is Nuvo H2O keeps the healthy minerals in the water. That is the number one benefit, is that the minerals in the water, but they're not gonna build up in your house, right? You buy one of your biggest, if not largest investment in your entire life is a home.
Absolutely.
Right? So like the arteries of your heart, you want to keep the plumbing, the internal plumbing unclogged.
That's a good analogy, absolutely.
Right? So if you could tell me at birth, if you were going to put a little system on me saying my arteries aren't going to be clogged, wouldn't you do it? 100%. So
I've ate too much cholesterol, so I need to get some citric acid through my veins.
Yes, we got something for you. But no, so not only are you going to have a small, compact, noiseless, energy efficient unit up on your wall, it's going to be out of the way. Maintenance is easy. You're going to have a filtered, clean, mineralized water that's not going to build scale. And you have the assurance knowing that if you do fall behind, it's not going to hurt your home. You can clean out the arteries of your home still.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's going to protect your water-based appliances, going to protect your water heater, your fixtures, your Keurig machine, anything that the water is going to go through, it's going to protect.
Absolutely.
And last thing you need is a blown water heater, and now you're down
That's never fun
tens
to
of
deal
thousands
with.
of dollars, right?
Absolutely.
So we, partnering with Arista Development, we were, very blessed that they put them in standard. We have a very good relationship with them, and we'd like to pass along some of that savings to your homeowners through the promo code. And one, just purchasing it through you is a very economical way to get a water system.
One of the things as a builder now, I think we've been using your systems, I think it's been about 2 years now.
Yeah, we're coming up on 2 years. Yeah,
I think we're coming up on 2 years. And as a builder, when I first installed it, we originally, and it was actually in my personal home, I didn't put the bypass loop. So there's things that the installer needs to know. So when you change these filters out, having the proper bypass loop makes a big difference, and it really keeps you from getting sprayed with a bunch of water and everything.
Yeah, and definitely, especially, you don't want to shut off. If you don't, you have to shut off the entire house
because when you do swap those out, you do still need to rinse out these big canisters and everything, because you'll get some gunk built up in here, and if you shut off the water to your house, now all of a sudden you have no water to clean these out with. So that bypass loop is huge.
Definitely.
One of the things that was also really important to me, and all you that know me know that I'm a huge dog person. Also, I have a big saltwater aquarium, which I'll go over here in a little bit. But for plants, my wife, Crystal, she absolutely loves gardening and everything. What's nice with this too is, unlike your typical softeners that has all the salts and potassiums that'll kill houseplants, this is completely safe to water your plants with. And more importantly for me, or the dogs, it's actually very healthy for them to drink this water, which is amazing. And Thomas and I had a conversation, because I have a big 330-gallon saltwater tank in my house. So I was really concerned about, citric acid. I didn't know what it does to the saltwater aquarium. And what's pretty neat is from my house, TDS, that is total dissolved solids. So that's basically how much gunk and grime is in the water that goes to your house. And before it hits the Nuvo system, my TDS at the house was around 250, 260 TDS, which is significant. After it runs through the Nuvo, when it goes to my special water conditioner that I use for my saltwater aquarium, it's now at like 26 TDS. So most people don't have saltwater aquariums, but the reason why I bring that up is a lot of people install RO units in their house. And what I've noticed from my RO unit and my saltwater filters is it dramatically prolongs the life of those 100%. Filters, because this is a workhorse of the system. This is a giant carbon filter, and carbon basically bonds to all those nasty things that are coming through your water system, which is really beneficial. Absolutely.
100%. No, and we do too. If we have multiple filter options too, so that is another benefit as well. Is this is our chlorine taste and odor filter, big carbon block filter. But if you do have, if you want extra filtration, we do have an iron and heavy metal filter. It's a 0.5 micron. So you do have other options, right? It's more for areas that are on wells, right? City water, this is going to be your workhorse and your go-to. But if you do have having interest, say in California, there's some municipalities on chloramines. We have a chloramine filter. So at Nuvo H2O,
chloramine is actually, most cities are starting to use chloramines now, because it's more economical for them to filter waters, which is, there's a big difference between chlorines and chloramines. So, it takes a special filter to filter out the chloramines.
Exactly, because they add ammonia to the water. I'm no scientist, but we got something for you, right? But here in Las Cruces, here with Arista, we already did the research for you. So this guy right here is going to be your bad boy. And like you said, this is the size. Small, compact, out of the way. Make sure we have a bypass, which Arista will do. And having a bypass is going to give you that ease of maintenance.
Absolutely.
Every 6 months, 50,000 gallons. Grab the auto ship program, save a little bit more money. You can't beat
What's nice when you build with Arista, all of our homes come as a standard with this Nuvo Manor Duo. Now, Nuvo also offers, like you were saying, I think it's the Nuvo Trio and a couple other things. So we could definitely upgrade you from that point if you like. We just need to know ahead of time. It's the same installation and all that stuff, but it's just a different, instead of basically this canister head, instead of having 2, you get a third. I don't think you have a 4, right?
No, but we can do anything. We have multiple, you can put 4 duos in a row if you want it. Obviously, you take up more space, but the trio, the duo and trios we're gonna find a cocktail that works, right?
Absolutely.
I have a trio on my house. We're on a well though, so we have some sediment issues and some iron issues. So I have a sediment filter, iron filter before it hits this. So no matter what, no matter where you're at, the research has been done, but also we're going to make sure that you have what you need to have: clean, filtered, mineralized water that's not going to go stale. So.
I actually have a funny story talking about the regeneration of your typical softeners. So before we started using Nuvo, this was a pretty funny story. I had a homeowner call me, and they were extremely panicked. They said they woke up, typically your traditional water softeners, they go into regeneration mode. I think it's about once a month, and they typically program it for like 3 in the morning, so you know, if people are asleep. However, those are extremely noisy. So this specific client that had one of your traditional softeners in, they actually thought somebody was trying to break into their house. Husband got up, freaked out, running around the house, trying to make sure. They were on the verge of calling 911, literally. Yeah. But it was the regeneration mode in the garage. It was just extremely noisy, and with this system, you don't have to worry about that.
Noiseless.
So if you hear noises outside, it's probably something that's actually about to happen. What other benefits? Do you have anything, you know, with all these benefits that we talked about, it's kind of hard for me to see any criticisms or anything like that from Nuvo. Just like any company, I'm sure you guys got people that are concerned with certain things. Is there anything that you want to talk about to kind of educate people with?
So it's really just setting the expectation of what the system does, right? We are what we are, we aren't what we aren't. Right? So we are not a traditional water softener. We're not a traditional salt system, where you're going to, you know, remove the minerals and replace it with sodium. So now you're not going to get that slimy feeling in the shower. It's a benefit to me. Some people may like it. I think it's frankly
it's supposed
annoying.
to be good for your skin and everything. I know one of the big things, my wife, she was the same as me. She didn't like the soapy feeling, but she actually likes it for her hair because with women's stuff, doing conditioner or any of that. I don't have that problem.
Don't use conditioner,
Most people don't see me without my hat, but yeah, like I guess she really likes it. It makes it easier for her when she's doing her hair and everything in the shower.
So really all, you know, we want you to understand what the system does. And as a homeowner, if you understand what your system is doing exactly, you're going to love it. There's a multitude of benefits, you know, that Mike has seen and heard of. That's why he reached out to us, and we're very glad you did, because we want to offer your homeowners the top-of-the-line water filtration and scale protection. That is healthy, no energy, it's eco-friendly, can't go wrong.
I really appreciate coming down and talking with us about it, because when we start talking with some people and moving down the line of contracting a person to build their house, when we're going through the sales process, we always show them your system. And most people have never seen a softening unit like the Nuvo, so they have a lot of questions. So I really hope this helps out, kind of educate people on what the system does, the benefits that it does have, and you know, what a great softener it is and how it protects your home.
And I want to tap on that, right? The word softener, okay?
Yes.
So that is usually, you know,
builder term.
Softener is, you know, the most education, you know, and knowledge of that term is towards the traditional softener. Right? So we use the word softener in the way of we are naturally softening the water. Like in places like Seattle, Vancouver, Canada, where I'm from, you don't have scale buildup. It's a very balanced pH water that is mineralized. So you don't see a lot of scale buildup. Right? So our goal is to mimic that, right? Where you're going to have a naturally soft water that's not going to build scale. So that is one thing where people come in like, wait, whoa, how is this a softener when you're keeping the minerals in the water? That's why we do it nature's way. That's our slogan, is soft water nature's way. So,
absolutely. Yeah, kind of in closing, what I would really like to tell people, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or Thomas. We're always open to answering questions. One of the big things when I walk through and do my final homeowners orientation, I always explain on how to swap out the filter cartridges when it comes due. Obviously during that walk there's a lot of information going, so that's why I want to do a follow-up video to this one that's going to show exactly how to swap out your filters. And one quick pro tip here that I'll tell people is
I know where you're going with this.
Do not throw the water in this canister on your concrete. It'll stain your concrete. So that's make sure it's safe to throw it on the dirt, but just don't throw it on your concrete. It'll definitely discolor your concrete. So that's one pro tip.
Make sure we are removing the plastic. I can't tell you how many times I've had a homeowner call me and say, Thomas, my Nuvo's not working. I say, check it for me. Is the plastic still around it? Hard for the citrus to come out and work when it's wrapped up. So, but yeah, all systems come with a maintenance guide, especially with Arista. Is we have maintenance guides that show you step for step how to do it, how to protect your flooring from the saturated citrus water, right? Because we don't want that hitting any concrete or epoxy or anything like that. So.
Absolutely.
But like we said, any questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly. Maybe we'll put my
feel free. Shoot away.
Put my info there. So it's Thomas Brendel, thomas.brendel@nuvoh2o.com. Please feel free to reach out to me. And maybe we can edit that into the...
Yeah, and I'll also put Thomas's contact information into the description down below. So if you have any questions. Now this also could be installed on a resale home. If your existing home, if you're not building a new home, this could still be installed. So any questions, feel free to reach out to Thomas. He's great to work with, very knowledgeable. He definitely educated me with a lot of information and gave me the proper information for me as a builder installing something that's a little bit different than what I've typically seen. So definitely want to make sure it's done the right way. And I appreciate you guys coming and listening to our conversation about the Nuvo H2O, specifically the Manor Duo. Thank you.